system in place to keep us in chains. By show of hands, who else is sick and tired of the same? 1% trying to keep us small, trying to keep us from getting out. Minimizing the struggles they've caused, saying we're not working hard enough.
We really should stop this fighting. Otherwise, we'll miss the fireworks. There won't be any fireworks. And here we go.
And welcome everybody to Suck It Friday Coffee Break with Kat and Derek. I, of course, am the great and powerful King of Kings and the Prince of all that is awesome.
Of darkness.
Derek. Joined by my beautiful co-host, the Mayor of Maryland, the Queen of Kansas City, and soon to be the douche of Denmark. Not Denmark. Where are you going again? Oh yeah, Belgium. The bitch of Belgium.
Thank you. I was like, what?
The douche of Denmark sounds good too, but the bitch of Belgium.
If I were going to Denmark, sure.
Yeah.
But that's not where I'm going.
I don't know why I said Denmark.
I don't know either.
So how are you this week? How's everything going? How's your vag?
It's better, but that's mostly just because I haven't had sex to try to irritate it again. But I did go to all the doctors, literally all of them. And they determined that it was probably just a cyst rupturing. So a cyst popped. And it was hurting. And I only knew it was hurting because, like, when you have sex, stuff moves around. And so it was probably moving while it was popping. And yeah.
You know, I'm gonna go ahead and rewind about 23 hours and 6 days ago to about this exact same time, an hour in the future, 7 days ago. And I said the exact same thing. And you're like, I don't know, it just hurts.
Well, I've never had a cyst before, and I've certainly never had one rupture that I was aware of. So I didn't know.
It's pretty common.
It is. Yeah.
And again, I was right. That's all I got to say.
Which, as common as it is, you would think that we would know more about this shit, but we know nothing. Like, literally nothing. There's no way to treat them, prevent them, know where they come from, know why they exist. Nothing.
I mean, but at the same time, doctors are still baffled by the appendix.
We are, yes.
Because I was actually watching...
And they just found a new organ recently in the past couple of years.
Yeah, I was watching something on TikTok the other day, and it was a doctor asking... It was a person asking a doctor, what was the purpose or what is the purpose of the appendix? And they're like, for years, we thought it was just a useless organ. But now we're sitting there saying, well, evolutionarily, if it was a useless organ, why hasn't our body phased it out? Why? But now, they're also noticing that it's moving... in some cases, moving closer into the intestines. So now they're like, maybe it does do something. So, like, they were thought forever that it didn't do anything. And now they're like, maybe it does do something.
Right?
So, yeah. So,
I mean, our gallbladder does something, but, like, you can totally have it taken out and it's not going to harm you.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
our body is like the world. You know, our bodies are 70% water, and so is the world. And we know as much about our body as we do about the ocean.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's still, and that's baffling about how little science has evolved.
Incredibly.
Because the thing about it is, we're complex creatures.
Yeah.
I mean, we really fucking are.
Yeah. Which leads in to our... Do you want me to tell you what I was wowing about before this?
Oh yeah, before we get into our topic of the day, yeah, please, because what we were kind of talking about, and what you briefly said right before we went on the air, that kind of surprises me a little bit. So please,
me too. Which is why I was like, "Wow, what?
Right, so please,
wow."
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm running out of coffee so soon. I drink too fast. So
that's why you need a 28 ouncer.
Yeah. There's an author that I've been in contact with because I bought her book for my kids. And I'm not going to say the name of the book here or the author because I don't want her political views or whatever to what's that word? What's that word I'm looking for? To
You don't want to stain her reputation or
well, and I don't want
slander
people,
her or
yeah, and I
believe things that aren't true or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
right, that, and I don't want people to judge like the book and her authorship based on her political views because her book is amazing. It is genuinely amazing and something that I wish I could have had as a kid myself, and I'm super glad that I bought it for my kids. But she asked me this morning how I felt about the president because she lives in the UK, so it doesn't really matter to her, obviously. But she asked me how I felt, and I was like, I'm elated. I feel like I can breathe again. I have literally been holding my breath for 4 years, 4 years, and I feel like this huge weight has been lifted off of my chest, and I can genuinely breathe again. And I was like, it's not so much the president, but it's the whole team that he has created that I feel like I can breathe again. It's, Kamala Harris, especially because I am a female. So I obviously relate highly to Kamala Harris and am elated that a female is in a position of that much power in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Because it's never been done. And I'm so glad that it's her. She's phenomenal. So there's that. And so anyway, so then she just gave me like a thumbs up. And I was like, huh? Like you can't just ask someone that and then just not respond yourself, essentially. So I was like, well, what do you think? Because again, she's in the UK. It doesn't really matter what she thinks, honestly, because she has no control over it. And it doesn't affect her as well. So anyways, she came back and basically said that before the coronavirus, she was in favor of Trump. And it wasn't because of obviously his ethics or morals because he has none, but it was just because simply no wars were started under him, quote unquote, essentially, until coronavirus happened. And until coronavirus happened, she thought that he was doing things politically well, essentially, which her living in the UK, she probably just didn't see a lot of the things that we saw. Or she,
Rolling back protections.
We're all being
against,
brainwashed.
Rolling back protections against LGBTQ, the political war on Muslims, just stuff like that. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, minor things, right? Yeah. Kids in cages down in the mine. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Immigration. Yep.
Right. Which, by the way, even though I understand that was not started under him, I get that he could have stopped it and he fucking didn't.
Oh, so, yeah, worse.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my point. Anyway.
But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so like I said, it doesn't really matter because she's not. I just when we get off of here, I'm going to have to respond because I'm like, you're entitled to your opinion 100%, yeah. But I just want you to have all the information because I feel like you don't.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is what I've always, stereotypically, and at least what they show us in the media, which is the liberal media, but I also watch other things as well. I pay attention to it.
I intentionally go to Fox News just to see what they're saying and look Correct. At both sides and try to pick out the words that match so that I can attempt to get
yeah. Anyways. But overall, what I have come to the assumption of is the majority of foreign lands were completely against Trump. So hearing that from somebody who lives in the UK was kind of just a surprise to me. But
right.
I mean, it's like, again, it doesn't really matter too much. I mean, the only like countries that really matter as far as like every country's opinion matters. Don't get me wrong, but like there's some that have weight and some that don't. Yeah, so like Canada's opinion of us has weight.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Mexico's
opinion even has weight.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, I said China's opinion even of us has weight.
Correct. Japan has weight. Mexico's has weight.
Right.
UK, it can kind of go back and forth.
Yeah.
France is the same way. Spain, same way. Italy, same way.
Sure.
but like, yeah, Canada, stuff like that. You know, those have more weight.
Yeah.
But regardless, that's not what we're here to talk about. But I thought that was just kind of an interesting topic.
It was. It is. Yeah. I am.
So,
Anyway, I feel like I can breathe.
me too.
Once.
I was glued to the television on Wednesday,
Yeah.
watching it happen.
I find it interesting though. I do find it interesting how like it seems like they're keeping him away, Trump, now. Like near the
No,
end.
he's doing it himself.
Which is an interesting move for him to choose to do that. I feel like
He
that's
said
not
it
something
himself.
He, would choose to
He
do.
said, if Biden wins, you'll never see me again.
Well, yeah, but it's not like he ever sticks to what he fucking says.
I know, but hopefully this time he will.
Let's hope.
There's an island for him to buy.
Yeah. He can have it.
I'm sure the government will just give it to him.
Did you hear how much money he lost from New York?
Some ridiculous amount.
Oh, it was like 17 million.
Yeah. Plus all the other cities and other places that are... Oh, and also he got dropped from the PGA.
Oh yeah, they refused to.
So all of his golf clubs, none of his golf clubs can now host a PGA tournament.
Nice.
So people are just...
Oh, and he's gonna be. And I heard that the women who all accused him of sexual assault might get to take him to court too.
Yeah, he's not free of litigation anymore.
Nope.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're going to talk about something even crazier, believe it or not, than Trump. And that is the world of Scientology. Now, I want to go ahead and preface this.
Okay.
We are not doing what Leah Remini did. Leah Remini did a completely different thing on it.
Well, and she had she was in it.
She was inside of it. She experienced stuff. I mean, she's talking about the kidnappings, the abuse, all the inner workings of Scientology, and she broke it down really, really well on her show. Mm-hmm. That is not what we're here to do. We're not here to talk about that, because that is something that I plan on doing at another time, but Kat refuses to let me try to do that. So maybe it won't ever happen, but either way.
So I started also, I did no research on this.
I did.
I know you did, and that's why I did no research, because I wanted to just react to your research, essentially. B, I started to attempt to watch the Leah Remini thing, but I made a mistake of trying to watch it with my kids.
Yeah.
And that was stupid. First,
well, your son, yeah.
Also, right. Well, also, I forgot that his wife was, potentially kidnapped and killed by him. I forgot that there was all of that. I thought it was just going to be...
That's still going on.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was totally just going to be about like Scientology and the cultness of it and the religion of it. I had completely forgotten about all that other shit. So
no, it doesn't. From what I have seen so far, and I think I'm almost done. She has yet to really talk about the beliefs and the craziness behind the beliefs of it all. She's talking about everything else other than that.
Interesting.
Now, I haven't finished it yet, so maybe she does go into it.
Right.
But again, that's all we're going to focus on here. Because this shit, I mean, and this is going to sound dumb because it's 100% true. I mean, this is straight science fiction. And again, L. Ron Hubbard was a science fiction writer, so that's completely a positive statement to say because it's true. But like the fact that these people actually believe, it's like saying, I believe Star Wars actually happened.
Right. I'm going to go dark for a second.
Okay. But you know what I'm saying? It was just very, reading through this, I had seen some of this stuff before. However, reading through some of these articles and stuff still just baffled me.
Right.
That these people actually believe this. Like, believe it. Like, and pay money to learn more about it.
I don't think, do they pay money to learn about it? Is that what they're doing?
Well, no. They're paying money to eventually get clear. And we'll talk about that.
Okay.
So, we're going to talk about that. All right. So, I've taken a bunch of notes from many different sources. I'm not going to go into all the sources. I might post the links in the bio of this video and the podcast, but it's a lot, so I'm not going to verbally state where everything's coming from. Okay? But I will post links to everything down below.
Cool.
All right. So, the Church of Scientology maintains a wide variety of beliefs and practices. The core belief holds that a human is a mortal, spiritual being, which is called a thetan. Okay? So, the human is an immortal, spiritual being called a thetan that is resident in a physical body. So, basically, the whole idea of Christianity and souls being immortal, that's what they kind of believe, just in a more physical, scientific way. Does that make sense?
No. What do you mean? Do you mean like reincarnation?
We'll get to that.
Well, I don't understand what you mean.
Hold on. Like
You're gonna have to get to it now. I don't understand.
I'm gonna read, and you gotta have to kind of bear with me.
Okay.
The core belief holds that a human is a immortal, spiritual being that is resident in a physical body.
Beating also works.
Being.
Sorry. Being. Got it. In a metaphysical body. Yeah.
The thetan has had innumerable past lives. So yes, reincarnation. Some of which preceding the thetan's arrival on Earth were lived in extraterrestrial cultures. So, the belief that they have is that we were brought here from another planet, dropped off, and have been maintaining our spirit since the beginning of time, basically, on Earth, and have had many different bodies since then.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
Based on case studies at advanced levels, it is predicted that any Scientologist undergoing auditing will eventually come across and recount a common series of events. Now, let's stop for a second. What is auditing? And we're going to go into that. In Dianetics and Scientology, auditing is a process whereby the auditor takes an individual through times in their current or past life with the purpose of ridding the individual of negative influences from past events or behaviors. Auditing is meant to bring the individual to clear status. Thus, an individual being audited is known as a pre-clear. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So auditing is basically where you sit down with somebody else and an auditor, okay? And they kind of recap your life as a spirit and try to rid you of all the negative things that have happened in your past lives. And then once you finally get to that point of having nothing negative left in your life, nothing negative left in your past life that is affecting your soul, that is when you become clear.
Okay, so are they talking about like hypnosis and past life regressions?
No. Like you literally from what I've seen, this auditing machine is like you hold these two little conductors, right?
Sure.
And it's kind of like it looks like a makeshift lie detector test, and they kind of talk to you about it. And as they see different spikes or different, inflections in the meter, that's how they know there's negativity there, and then they focus on that.
Okay, and do we use this machine in any other capacity?
No.
In real life? No, we do not. No one else uses this.
No.
You're the only ones that have this technology.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Okay. Got it.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We understanding so far?
Yep. I'm with you.
Scientology describes itself as the study of and handling of the spirit in relationship to itself, others, and all of life. Scientologists also believe that people have innate yet suppressed a power and ability which can be regained if cleared of unwanted behavior, patterns, and discomfort.
So that is something that other religions I know have believed.
Now, I do want to go ahead and say this. I'm not reading from anything here. In my studies, what I have learned is that Scientology, while it being a religion, is also an extension of your own religion. So, like, you can still be a Scientologist while maintaining your Catholic faith. You know what I'm saying? Because the idea of theitins came before Christ. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like, so basically what they're saying is Christ may have happened, but at the same time, he was brought here just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
I do. My mind is a little bit so I was brought up Christian, like Christian Baptist, non-denominational, whatever. And so I was taught and believed for a very long time that Jesus or Christ was the Son of God and like holy and chosen to come down and was brought back up by God himself. You know, and came back to life because God let it be so and blah blah blah. And I have only recently learned that Jesus was most likely a prophet, much like many other prophets during that time, and wasn't exactly special. He was just a regular human, much like all the other humans that were prophets during that time, which makes more sense to me. And I believe my mom actually just told me the other day that that's what the Jewish religion believes and teaches.
Correct.
So again, because they were there, I feel like they would know. So that all, again, just, you know, further makes more sense to me. But I don't, if that's the case.
Again, I'm not going to go into the semantics of it all.
Okay.
Because I did do a lot of research.
Right.
But we only have an hour and a half, so
I know.
I'm not gonna. There's way more to this conversation. I'm giving the basics. Anything else you want to do with it, click the links in the bio, in the description, and then you can find out more about what we're talking about.
Bullshit.
But this is very, very vague stuff. And Kat is learning this for the very first time, just like most of the listeners are.
Yes.
So if she has any questions, most likely you'll have that same question. So hopefully we'll be able to elaborate further.
Yeah. And if I don't, email him and let him know, and we'll come back and go.
Or just click the links in the bio and read more about it yourself. Make your own assumptions. Make your own opinions.
But also ask us questions because I need to learn more. But
correct. Go on. Yes, derek.suckitpodcast@gmail.com. Scientology describes itself as the study and handling of the spirit in relationship to itself, others, and life. Scientologists also believe. Okay, I already said that. Scientology is described as a religion to help people use scientific approaches to self-actualize their full potential. Believers reach their full potential when they understand themselves in their true relationship to the physical universe and the supreme being. There has been many scholarly, I cannot say that word. Scholarly.
Yeah, there you go.
Studies of Scientology, and the books are freely available in bookshops, churches, and most libraries. So you can still buy the Book of Dianetics, which is like their Bible. Okay.
So how do you become a Scientologist then?
You have to go to a Scientology facility.
Okay.
And then do your first audit, and then you got to start paying money. I mean, that's the gist of it. Is there more to it? Obviously. Is there semantics involved? Absolutely. But that's the gist of it.
I can't remember if I read this or if Leah Remini went over this in her thing, but I feel like I did read this, and I feel like I in the beginning of Scientology, like when it was just starting out, the deal was you had to join them and leave your whole life behind to follow them. And they started out like that, and they would move around every so often. And the way that they would get the money is that they would require the people who came to them to join their church to give the church their entire life savings, retirement, everything.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I didn't dive into like the past of it all, because again, that's more the Leah Remini side. So I didn't want to dive into that. I just was kind of like shooting for the core beliefs. Now, what I do know is that if you cannot afford to pay, there is another option. The
Sea Org, right?
The Sea Org, very good. Look at
me go! I learned.
So you can actually go and volunteer and work for the Sea Org, and that will pay off your dues, and you can eventually become clear that way.
Well, and on top of that, I know from the Leah Remini show, being in the Sea Org is like being in the military, and it's considered like a great honor.
Correct.
But you're also
So
you give up a lot.
let's go ahead and say what the Sea Org is, just in case people are wondering. So the Sea Org is basically a gigantic boat. Okay, it's a cruise ship that travels around the world, and these people are basically missionaries. And then they go around doing the work of Scientology. They get donations. It's very, very structured how they live. And they live on this boat. They live on this cruise ship. And that's all they do is do nothing but live and work for Scientology. And then through time, they eventually do their auditing and get clear and blah, 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 blah. So that's what the Sea Org is in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Okay. The Church of Scientology believes that man is basically good, that he is seeking to survive, and that his survival depends on himself and his attainment of brotherhood within the universe. As stated in the Creed of Church of Scientology, that is all stated as, okay, hold on, that was kind of worded weirdly, but okay. Scientology's top three fundamental truths are: man is immortal spiritual being, his experience extends well beyond a single lifetime, his capabilities are unlimited, even if not presently realized. So basically, we're fucking X-Men, is what they believe. And this is going back to what we were just talking about before. Scientology does not require that their members must exclusively believe in Scientology, distinguishing it from other biblical religions. Scientologists may profess belief in other religions, such as Protestantism and Catholicism, and may participate in their activities and sacred rites. Jacob Neusner emphasizes in this section of the Scientology in his book, World Religions in America, Scientologists aim to utterly make the world instead of taking refuge from it, as they participate in culture instead of being isolated. Scientologists are inherently non-denominational and open to individuals regardless of religious background. According to Mary Ann Mann, it contains the elements necessary for a global religion and caters to all people, different ethnicities, and educational upbringing. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Does that kind of elaborate more on what we talked about?
Yes. So, do we get to see at any point today what the rest of their like beliefs or rules or anything like that are?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna go into this. This is some detailed shit. We still have time. We got a while. We got a little bit of. We got time.
I know.
We got nothing but time, baby.
I didn't think that we didn't. I just didn't know if that was a part that we were going to get into.
Oh, of course, because we got to get into Xenu.
So there's another aspect of this that these are things that I have heard a little bit from. I don't know if you want to call it the scientific community or the spiritual community, but there is a spiritual community that attempts to base some of their beliefs off of some scientific research. Most recently I heard that somebody did an experiment with people where they put them close together, to start, and then they gradually move them back apart from each other. But the deal was they would think about the person in front of them or that was across the room from them or whatever in a positive manner and in a negative manner. And then the scientist measured I want to say it's x-rays that came off of the person towards the other person and measured it. I could be wrong on whatever. It's some kind of rays that they measured, right? And basically they determined that we are emitting, like our thoughts are emitting something, essentially, and it can be emitted at and to people. Not necessarily like someone could read my mind, but like your thoughts have a physical effect. So when you say things like, shut up.
What?
So when you say things like they think that we're X-Men, there's there's more research to be done on our brain at a bare minimum, because we don't actually know all the things that our brains can do and are capable of.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
I am a
basically
firm
what-
believer. I am a very firm believer
Mhm.
that okay. All right. So let's go ahead and be realistic here.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll go back into this in a second, but I kind of want to dive more into this just for a quick second.
Sure.
I'm a very firm believer that if we can mutate as human beings to be, to have Down syndrome or autism or multiple sclerosis, or, you know, born without legs in some cases, or born with one stubby leg and one regular size leg, all these different types of mutations that are possible within a human being that we have studied and actually recognized.
Right.
Why isn't there a possibility that we can have supervision? Why isn't there a possibility that we could be abnormally, superly strong? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Why now? Is it possible right now? No, I don't know. But at the same time, could that mutation happen over the next 100 years? Possibly. Could we have somebody as big as the Incredible Hulk? There's people out there that are fucking broaching that right fucking now.
Right.
But my point is there's if one thing is possible, the other is as well. Now, I'm not talking about radioactive spiders, however that could happen. I'm not, but the idea of an Incredible Hulk type being, or a somebody that has abnormally tough, bulletproof skin, I mean, is not out of the realm of possibility. So I think it's very possible, because our bodies, and like we talked about at the very beginning of this episode, we don't fully understand the limits and capabilities of the human body.
Right. So autism personally, I mean, absolutely, if I were a scientist, I would study autism, because to me, it is a superpower.
Absolutely.
They are fucking incredibly intelligent and quick. And even though like some of them cannot speak and cannot perform, I guess, in our what we're used to in our regular world, they can speak and perform at a fucking higher level than regular human beings can on everyday basis.
Yeah.
And they just do that like it's normal.
Or like somebody that has a really bad stutter, okay?
Right.
Which is a brain defect, a brain mutation. But yet when they sing, they don't stutter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yes.
that is all mind-boggling.
Right?
To say the idea of being an X-Man or something along those lines, I think is definitely not out of the realm of possibility. Now, are we going to get it exactly like the comic books?
No.
No.
Right.
I mean, our bodies are not designed to fly the way Superman does, or
No.
the way Wonder Woman does, or anything else like that. That's not possible. And you know, the idea of Scarlet Witch and being able to control rocks with your mind and hands. No, I'm talking just simple mutations like, and I say simple very lightly, the idea of the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
You know, there's people out there that are that big. Are they as strong as the Incredible Hulk? No.
Some of them.
Not yet.
Because there are some people with autism even who have like superhuman strength.
Yes, and then like
Same thing.
I've heard the same thing about people with Down syndrome too.
Yeah.
Like it's again, we don't know.
Yeah.
So
And we don't even know like what our DNA and RNA and all that is completely capable of either. So
no, exactly.
again, anyways.
Exactly. That's all stuff that is, you know, down the line.
Yeah.
Studies are still being done because people, believe it or not, are actually studying the effects of like a mutant gene and stuff like that. I mean, there's some weird shit going on out there. But anyway,
I wonder if actually if everything in the universe is mutating so quickly that we would never actually be able to catch up enough with it to understand it all.
Correct. So it's just like the day that you buy a brand new phone, just released today, that technology is already, you know,
obsolete. Yeah.
It's the same thing. We discover one thing about our brain, and then it's already mutated into something else.
Yep.
It's the same thing. I mean, there's so many different correlations. The Matrix is real, guys.
Have you seen those videos on TikTok about people who have shifted in and out of different realities?
No, but have you seen the TikToks about how that we shifted into a different dimension at midnight on January 1st? And that's why the ball was 1 minute late.
The ball?
When it dropped, for the first time ever in history, it dropped 1 minute late.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And like right now, if you on your phone,
was it 1 minute late all over the world? Because like everybody experiences time differently.
Again, it was 1 minute late.
Was it all over the world or just in New York though?
I don't know the answer. I'm just going off of people on TikTok, and that we don't know how true that is. But like if you ask Google or ask Siri right now, how long until 2021? It like gives you weird answers.
Do it. You've got Alexa. Ask her.
How long until 20?
Does it give you weird answers though, just because like it's already 2021? Let me ask Siri. How long until 2021?
It's 9 hours until then.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Why would it say that?
Because it's fucking military time. It's a fucking joke.
Oh. You're a dick.
How'd you go in there for a second? That's fucking hilarious. That's military time.
But my phone's not military time.
It's so fucking funny. All right. I got Cat for the day, guys. It's time to go home. No, I'm just kidding. All right, back to the topic at hand now that I'm done fucking with Cat. All right, so core beliefs and practices, reactive mind and traumatic memories. Among the basic tenets of Scientology are the beliefs that humans are immortal, like we said, and that they have many different life experiences that transcends a single lifetime. Okay. The reactive mind is thought to absorb all pain and emotional trauma, while the analytical mind is a rational mechanism which is responsible for consciousness. The reactive mind stores mental images which are not readily available to the analytical conscious mind, and these are referred to as engrams. Engrams are painful, debilitating, and as they accumulate, people move further away from their true identity. Avoiding this fate is Scientology's basic goal. Dianetics auditing is one way in which the Scientologist may progress towards the clear state, winning gradual freedom from the reactive mind's engrams and acquiring certainty of his or her reality as a thetan.
Okay.
So, at its core, it's not crazy.
Right.
It's really not. Because it's very possible. Again, I don't know. Nobody knows the answer. Not religious nuts, not the Pope, not me or you, not anybody knows really what happens. Is it possible that my soul has lived for 1 million years and I was a fucking caveman fucking cat instead of a cave?
Right.
It's possible.
Wait, what? Homie.
Took you a second there.
Back the fuck up. Just kidding.
Me man, thud. Take you back.
Maybe that's why I like my hair pulled.
But
anyway.
You need to go get clear, girl. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, is it possible? Yeah. I mean, is it rational? I don't fucking know. But at the same time, the past traumas of your life, regardless of whether it's a single lifetime, need to be extracted. So at its core, it makes a lot of sense. Okay?
Yes.
So let's go ahead and be.
So my biggest deal with it, of course, after the abuse and scary shit that goes on inside, the actual like things that are going on right now with them, is that it is no different to me than any other religion, which I pretty much denounce.
Correct.
That requires you to give them money to show your faith, question or quotation
Correct.
marks.
But again, that's not what we're going with here. We're not talking about that side of things, because I'm just talking about their straightforward beliefs.
Right.
And the fact that what I just read, and so far, everything I've read does not sound out of the realm of craziness.
Possibilities.
It's possible. No, I mean,
Right.
the fact that we could, that we don't know our full potential, 100%
Right.
fact. We don't. The
No,
fact that
yeah.
we have past traumas that we need to get rid of, absolutely.
100%. Right.
There's, the fact that we may be immortal beings that have lived many different generations. Possibly. We don't fucking know. So again, at its core, this is not crazy. Okay. Scientology believes people have hidden abilities. We talked about that.
Why did they choose Tom Cruise, though? That's my question.
Why did they? But like, it's Tom fucking Cruise. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, but is he Tom Cruise because of Scientologist, or is he a Scientologist because he's Tom Cruise? There's a fucking conundrum for you.
Anyway,
yeah.
auditing is a one-on-one session with a Scientology counselor or auditor. It bears a superficial similarity to confession or pastoral counseling. But the auditor records and stores all information received and does not dispense forgiveness or advice the way a pastor would. Instead, the auditor's task is to help a person discover and understand engrams and their limiting effect for him or herself. Most auditing requires an e-meter, which is what we just talked about, a device that measures minute changes in electrical resistance through the body when a person holds the electrodes, and a small current is passed through them, again, like a lie detector.
Wait, so when they say, so is that similar to the things like limiting beliefs that people talk about? Like when people feel syndrome, where you feel like you're a fake, a phony, what do they call it? Imposter syndrome. Is that like that?
Hold on one second.
Who are you talking to?
Potential sponsor.
You
sorry.
really have to answer it in the middle of the
No,
show?
I saw something real quick. I just wanted to see what it was. I need fucking money. I need sponsorships, people.
I saw you got your box, by the way.
Oh, you mean my amazing box of Loot Crate, which, by the way, 15% off with the link in the bio, and use code SUCKITPODCAST for your first box. Doesn't matter if it's Deadpool, Marvel, Harry Potter, whatever you want. Choose the best boxes available to you for whatever your nerddom or geekdom is. Available to you once a month or 3 months, every 3 months. You can pick when you want it to come. Starts as little as $30, and then you get 15% off of that. So guys, go get yourself a Loot Crate. I got a really cool cookie mug yesterday. That thing is like 28 ounces of a freaking Incredible Hulk head that has a mouth cut out for a fucking cookie. It's amazing. Get yourself a Loot Crate. Use code SUCKITPODCAST with the link in the description of this video or podcast, and get yourself 15% off. There you go. Thank you for that segue.
That's what I'm here for.
Or go buy some CBD from Wildflower Hemp Co. Or go sign up for BetterHelp, because I am apparently going crazy and I need more therapy than most people.
Is that what they said?
I don't fucking know.
On TikTok, where this guy got fired as a client from a therapist because she said that he gave her anxiety. I was like, that poor guy. I felt so bad for him. Okay, continue.
Okay. But anyway, all right, so auditing, I kind of already went into that, so I'm not going to go into the details of it. Like I said, it's basically a polygraph, like I said. And then it just kind of, as they talk about your past life and things that may trigger you, they base the response that you give on the electrometer, the e-meter, how they're going to, oh, this might be triggering, so let's go ahead and work on that type thing. All right. Let's see here.
What's the code again?
Suck It Podcast.
Thank you. So
All one word.
yeah, but like, so I'm looking because I wanted the Harry Potter one when you said that. It says select your plan length: 1 crate, 3 crates, or 6 crates.
Correct.
Do you get 3 crates or 6 crates of the same theme, or is it like they'll send you a
Correct.
different theme next month?
No, it'll be the same theme. You
Okay.
pick your theme, and then the different things come month to month. So like if you pick a Deadpool theme, it's gonna be Deadpool themed every month. But like you'll get different characters and different things and different items that are related to Deadpool every month. You might get a hoodie one month. You might get a T-shirt one month. You might get a hat one month. You might get a Funko Pop. You might get a lanyard. You might get this. It's an assortment of stuff. I got 5 things in my box yesterday that are really cool. So I'm not complaining.
All right, so I click 6 crates and it says total, and it gives me the total. Do I have to pay all that up front, or will it just do it every other month like it says?
It's every other month.
So it's only going to bill me every other month? Because like,
Correct.
I'll 100% pay this much for only every other month
Yeah.
for all of this shit.
Yeah.
This is fucking amazing. Okay, sorry, continue.
Yeah. So
Scientology.
sign up for that, please. Yeah. And make sure you use code SUCKITPODCAST, all one word, at checkout. Anyway, okay. Back to the topic at hand.
Right.
The dynamics. L. Ron Hubbard introduced Scientology across the country in 1950s as a central symbol for the church. Okay. The first dynamic was to urge toward survival of self. The second dynamic is to urge toward survival through sex or children.
Wait, what? Back up. What?
So the different dynamics of, the semantics of it all. The first dynamic is to urge toward survival of yourself. The second dynamic is to urge toward survival through sex or children. Repopulate. Help.
But why does it specify sex or children? Because like if you have sex, the idea there would be
There's more to it. There's more to that sentence. I can read more.
I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
No, that's fine. This dynamic actually has 2 divisions. The second dynamic is the sexual act itself, and the second dynamic is also the family unit, including rearing of children. So basically, they're saying that through sex, just by sex by itself, without being for the point of procreation, helps you stimulate as a person. It's more of a has a better effect on your mind, which is true. It releases endorphins, it helps you think more clearly, but then at the same time, build a family.
Got you.
So it's 2 parts. It's not sex with children. It's sex
To have
and
children. It's sex for the purpose of having children.
or sex for the purposes of sex and sex for the purpose of having children. It's both.
Right.
Okay.
Got it.
The third dynamic is the urge toward survival through a group of individuals or as a group. The fourth dynamic is to urge toward survival through all mankind and as mankind. The fifth dynamic is the urge toward survival through life forms such as animals, birds, insects, fish, and vegetation. The sixth dynamic is the urge toward survival as the physical universe and has its components matter, energy, space, and time from which we derive. The seventh dynamic is the urge toward survival through spirits or as a spirit. Anything spiritual with or without identity would come under the seventh dynamic. The eighth dynamic is the urge toward survival through the supreme being, or more exactly, infinity. So again, we're going back to it. These 8 dynamics or principles or whatever you want to call them, the semantics of it all, make sense. Fight for your survival. Help create vegetation. Help create, the plants and animals. Help them survive. It's very, very... it all makes a hell of a lot of sense.
There's something to it, yes.
Okay.
I don't believe that we should live in a survival mode. I believe that is a caveman type, like that's closer to
But-
caveman type living.
Again, that's not something that we can really control. I mean, we're always in survival mode. That fight or flight mentality is present at all times.
But based on their religion, what they're saying is that you have to heal your past traumas in order to be clear. So what they're doing is also healing themselves so that they can get out of the survival mode. So like this is counterintuitive now. I don't understand.
I don't know if it's maybe you can be more present to survive if you are clear. So it's not counterintuitive.
Oh, that could be. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So now their afterlife, that the life and personality will go on and the physical part of the organism ceases to function. There's a lot more to it than that, but that is the basics of it. You will live on, your body will go into somebody else, which is why that you need to have sex to, to make babies in order for somebody else's soul to attach to that baby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It does not have a stance on God. Okay.
Who was what was the name of the
Well,
thing?
we're getting there.
Okay.
He's not God. He is just a supreme being. Difference.
Okay.
Okay.
Continue then.
We'll get to him. It's more along the lines that they believe that we are God-like creatures, and we have the state of nature to be God. Okay, that's what they kind of believe.
So like in Christian, this would be the equivalent to you are made in God's image.
Correct.
Mm.
All right.
Now that's something I've been exploring in my own head recently. So
All
I'm
right.
excited for that part.
Now, we are going to... So that's the gist of Scientology.
Sure.
Okay. Now, again, at its very surface,
There's something to it.
there's
Sure.
something to it.
I'll give it that. I also want to say though that writers and authors do an incredible amount of research. So it would make sense that this would be, because it was a science fiction book. And especially when you do a science fiction book, like people think that you can just make shit up and whatever. But no. They actually base it off of like real things that exist.
Correct.
Much like, Star Trek and Star Wars and, shit like that.
Yeah,
Anyway.
they try to go with the physics of it all.
Right. Yeah.
Look at the explosions inside of Star Wars, for example.
Mm-hmm.
There's no air in space.
Right.
So there would not be any fire.
Right.
However, but explosions do happen, and they happen kind of in the bubble of the realm of and then it kind of just fizzle out as soon as it happens.
Yeah.
Did you see anything else happen other than that in Star Wars? No, you didn't see a fiery crash going down. No, it blew up and then it was just kind of gone.
Gone. Right.
And that's kind of how it happens. So they do spend a lot of time and effort into putting this stuff together.
They do.
All right. So now, as time goes on, as you do more auditing and as you get more clear, which again, at its surface sounds very healthy, very normal, okay? There are a bunch of stuff in between that you start to learn about. Like the whole purpose of psychiatry and therapy, they don't believe in. They don't believe in psychiatry. Their idea of psychiatry is the auditing process. If you get rid of the demons in your past,
Right.
then you don't need therapy. And so instead of just talking about it, we're going to focus on it and we're going to cure it. Okay? So that's their thing. They don't believe in medications. They don't believe in all these different things. It's all about the demons from your past or the negativity energy that you've carried through your lifetime on this planet.
So I don't know if you want to get into this because we only have a few minutes left, but
Well, I need to spend time on Xenu.
right. No, yeah. But just real quick, because I remember Leah Remini in the TV show saying that or or it wasn't Leah Remini who actually said it. It was someone else that had gotten out that said this, that one of their core principles is if you feel like you want to punch somebody in the face because they've pissed you off, then you do it. Like it's actually one of their like it's in their beliefs somehow.
Really? I did not see that at all, but okay.
Yeah. So like if you think that someone has done you wrong, you have all the right in the world to do something about it and punch them in the face or blah, blah, blah.
All right.
Basically. Okay. So anyway.
So now, as you learn more and more about the ideas and beliefs behind Scientology, you get more and more clear, and there's different levels. I don't know all the levels. I have to go through that. And again, links are in the bio. You can do your research for yourself.
Sure.
But again, at its core, it's amazing. It really does sound great. But then as you progress through these levels and pay more money, you start to learn more and more and more and more. And then the final stage, you learn about these 3 paragraphs that I'm about to detail for you. And then, again, do your own research. Again, I'm just going to read these 3 paragraphs, and then Kat's going to ask some questions, and then we'll go from there. I started talking about this last week, but I did not finish it, and we're going to go into it now.
Cool.
The final level, you learn about the great and powerful Xenu. Who is Xenu, you ask? Xenu, according to Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard, was the dictator of the Galactic Confederacy, who brought billions of his people to Earth, then known as Tegiak, in a spacecraft 75 million years ago, stacked them around volcanoes, and killed them with hydrogen bombs. Official Scientology scriptures hold that Theotins, which are the immortal spirits, of these aliens adhere to humans, causing spiritual harm. These events, known within Scientology, is known as the incident. The traumatic memories associated with them are known as the firewall, or the R6 implant. The narrative of Xenu is part of Scientologist teachings about extraterrestrial civilizations and alien interventions in earthly events, collectively described as space opera by Hubbard. Hubbard detailed the story of the operating Theotin level in 1967, warning that the R6 implant, which is past trauma, was calculated to kill anyone who attempts to solve it. Within the Church of Scientology, the Xenu story is part of the Church's secret advanced technology, considered a sacred or esoteric teaching, which is normally only revealed to members who have completed a lengthy sequence of courses costing large amounts of money. The Church avoids mention of Xenu in public statements and has gone to considerable effort to maintain the story's confidentiality, including legal action on the grounds of copyright or trade secrecy. Officials of the Church of Scientology widely deny or try to hide the Xenu story. Despite this, much material on Xenu has leaked to the public via court documents and copies of Hubbard's notes that have been distributed through the internet. In commentary on the impact of the Xenu text, academic scholars have discussed and analyzed the writings by Hubbard and their place within Scientology, within the text of the science fiction, UFO religions, and creation myths. Okay. Now,
So they denied it, but
because of the lawsuits,
yeah,
they're public record.
got it.
All right. Now, here's where it gets kind of interesting. All right. Here, I'm going to go ahead and sum it up.
Okay.
And there's a lot more to the story, but I'm just trying to get you enticed to do your research, to have a little fun today on this lovely Friday, January 22nd of the wonderful year that has been 2021.
Right.
Human beings were here first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Got it.
Xenu came here 75 million years ago on this spacecraft.
Mm-hmm.
Brought with them all these Theotins. Killed them.
The Theotins, not the humans, right?
Correct.
Okay.
He killed the Theotins because he wanted their souls to attach to human beings.
Okay.
And that's kind of where the story begins. So at one point in time, we were just gallivanting along, knocking women out and having sex with them in caves. And all of a sudden, this spaceship come down, and now all of a sudden we're these Thetan beings, because when the souls of these, when the bodies of these people died in the hydrogen bomb volcano, their soul or their spiritual being left them and then inhabited us.
Which could explain, scientifically speaking, the gap between that we have, that we don't know what the fuck happened, between cavemen and where we are now, essentially. I mean, not now, but like where we were, thousands of years ago.
So wait a minute. Hold on. Are you trying to justify the thought process and the fact that because the Theatans came and we were inhabited by a different soul, that's what caused evolution?
I think, well, I'm saying
again,
that could have been what caused such a significant progression in evolution.
Again.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
The idea of it all.
If we're going to entertain the thought of it all, let's entertain it.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Does it sound out of this world?
Yeah.
Dad jokes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was just bad, but it was hilarious at the same time.
It was cute.
Because I'm a cute man.
Yes, you are.
Oh, thank you.
You're the
so I subscribe to the belief that there are, extraterrestrials and they're walking among us.
So my question is, why did he take them here to kill them, though? Why was that decision made?
Let me see if it goes into that, because I don't remember exactly what the reason was.
Why did they decide to take over human bodies? Like, you would think that if there were so many options.
He's fucking Thanos.
I'm sorry, what? He wanted to snap and delete half of something?
Xenu was about to be deposed from power, so he devised a plot to eliminate the excess population from his dominions. So he brought the excess population here. He was fucking Thanos.
So he's a bad guy?
Well, apparently he was doing a bad job and they were about to kick him out of his power.
And so, wait, did he take his own followers here? Or did he take the people who were not wanting to follow him here? Which one?
It just says that he brought the excess population here.
What? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't go together. It wouldn't be an excess population. It would either be...
Basically what he's trying to say... Hold on. Basically what he's trying to say is Earth was like the Galactic Confederacy's version of Australia.
There's an Australia in the Galactic Confederacy? What?
I was trying to make an obscure history reference. You know how, originally Australia was like a prison camp for people living in Britain. It was like prison. They brought him there. That's kind of what he did to us. So we're basically like just a giant prison.
I did not know that about Australia, but okay.
You didn't know that about... Oh.
No.
Yes. We'll have to get into that another time.
Prison for who?
For people living in England.
So people in England used to get in trouble and they'd ship them to Australia to live?
Correct.
What the fuck? What kind of shit is that?
You didn't know that?
No. Why would they do that?
Okay.
I thought that why wouldn't they just do what regular civilizations have done and use them for slave labor? I don't understand.
So next week,
okay,
we're going to do the history of fucked uppness of this world.
Of Australia.
I'm gonna find 5 of the most fucked up historical facts that I can. And number 1 will be Australia. The other 4 I haven't thought of yet. But we're, number 2.
You know what I heard the other day on TikTok?
What's that?
Sharks used to follow slave boats coming into America.
Yeah.
Because they would throw bodies off of them. That were
well,
dead.
they would also if did you ever see the movie Black Panther?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At the end, Michael B. Jordan said, throw me into the ocean because, like my ancestors before me, I would rather die there than live as a slave. So they would actually kill themselves because they didn't want to be a slave.
Oh my God. All of that is fucking awful. So awful.
Okay, we're not gonna.
Anyway.
That's like probably one of the worst things that our time has ever done is slavery. We're
Yeah.
not gonna go into that. We're gonna
Well,
go
I bet
into.
that's gonna be at the top of the list, though.
Oh, it's 100% at the top of the list. So we're gonna do my top 6. Number 1 is definitely slavery. So,
Yeah,
but we're not gonna
for
talk about that because there's no humor in that.
No.
However, I'm gonna find the 5 most fucked up things, and then that are humorous at the same time. And we're gonna talk about them.
Okay.
So number 1, the whole idea that originally Australia was a fucking giant jail. We'll talk about that. And then number 2, the fact that back in those ages, you could just walk around and put a flag in something and say, I claim it. We're going to talk about that as well. Those are number 1 and 2. The other 3 I haven't figured out yet, but we'll go into that. So Australia and flag claiming.
Got it. Do you know why fences exist in America?
No.
It's
Oh, no, wait. Maybe we can add that to next week.
okay. I'll bring it next week. We'll just that'll just be something stupid that happened.
That would just be something that happened.
Okay.
So basically, he brought everyone here as basically an extermination transport is basically what he did. He brought him here to exterminate them.
Maybe everyone was about to kick him out of power because that was his plan. And maybe that's how those two correlate with each other.
I think he was just doing a bad job.
Well, I think maybe he was doing a bad job because he was like, hey, I'm going to take half of you people, this excess population, and kill them all.
According to this, he was about to be deposed of power, so he devised a plot to eliminate the excess population from his dominions. So because of that...
Well, but like, how do we really know?
We don't. These are the writings of a crazed person who has devised a fucking religion based off of science fiction.
But what happens if we all find out one day that it was real?
What? Here's the thing. One day we're gonna discover it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Something. We're gonna discover that something is real.
But here's the worst part of it. The odds of us being able to communicate that to anyone that isn't us is slim to none.
Oh yeah, nobody's gonna.
Because we're only gonna be able to figure it out after we die.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So if I die, there's no way I can
ask ghosts this.
Oh, you know what? Actually, that's my plan. I will figure out a way to make sure that I'm a ghost, and I will come haunt your ass, and you will be my literal ghost writer.
Cool. Thanks.
I will tell the world. I will be the new Jesus.
Right? Okay. Have fun. Also, I have a bruise on my hand from them sticking an IV in me, and it makes me unhappy.
Aww.
Also, it was very square. Extremely square. Oh, my camera won't focus.
Because you don't have a green screen. By the way, I love my new green screen background. It's very cartoony. Makes me
I
look
like yours too. I was gonna say when we came on, I love the new setup. It looks so good.
Yes, well, big changes are coming to my show next week, so.
When are you announcing them?
I already did. I announced them yesterday. Would you like me to go over them again real quick?
Yes, I would.
So,
Thank you.
I'm about to basically triple the amount of shows that I do in a week. So, first big announcement. Number 1, every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m., I go live for 10-15 minutes and do a comedic newscast.
Oh, cool. That sounds fun.
So it'll be a comedic newscast of the news of the day. Again, it's inspired by, like Weekend Update, but knowing me, I'm going to take it to another level, and be different with it. But it's very, very here's a real news story, and let me make fun of it. That's the gist of it.
Cool.
Okay, that's number one. So 5 new shows right there. Luckily, they're only 10 to 15 minute long. What the whole idea is this. I'm trying to branch out and create more content than just the podcast. Or
Right.
the podcasts. Whether it be the coffee break or suck it at nighttime.
Cool.
I'm trying to bring more attention to the YouTube channel.
The content.
These are just YouTube things. I'm trying to build the YouTube channel because the podcast is at 50,000 on average per day.
Right.
The YouTube channel is at 25, 30.
Right.
Because I'm not creating content that would make people want to come to the YouTube channel because they can get the exact same thing in their car, on their phone, or mowing the lawn that they can get on YouTube. So there's no incentive. Now I'm going to give some incentive. With shorter videos, therefore people aren't sitting down and watching an hour-long clip.
Got it.
That's number one. Number two, I'm going to be producing going back to my roots a little bit, a comic-based show.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to come out every Wednesday.
Cool.
It will not be live because I'm going to add videos and pictures and stuff like that. It's going to be a really cool show where I'm going to talk about the different stuff that's coming up in Marvel Universe. The Walking Dead is getting ready to come back out here soon. There's lots of stuff getting ready to come out, and I want to be able to express my nerddoms in a fun and funny way. So we're going to talk about how, we're going to recap the previous weeks of WandaVision, and then eventually, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then Loki, and yada, yada, yada. We're going to do that every week and talk about Walking Dead and stuff like that. Another 10 to 15 minute little clip, a video where I kind of make jokes, talk about how it all ties in together, history, how it ties into the comic books, blah, 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 blah. Nerd crazy is what it's going to be. It'll be fun, 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 fun. Third is now on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I will be live on Twitch, just doing gaming. Suck It Gaming is coming Tuesday. So that's going to happen.
Fun.
So Suck It Gaming is coming on Tuesday. Then on top of that, the biggest one is this. Over the last few months, I think I've gotten away from the main topic of this show, being mental health. I've been doing a lot of non-stop bands, a few comedians here and there, but I haven't talked to any real, and I say that for lack of a better term, because bands and musicians and actors and they're real people too.
People have experience, right?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, they're real people, but they're not, the real people behind the idea behind the show. It's evolved into that, and it still will be that. I will still talk to bands, I will still talk to actors and comedians and everything else in between, but I'm going to start talking to more authors. I'm going to start talking to more therapists. I'm going to start talking to more real-life people that deal with mental health. So it'd be more of an eclectic mix day-to-day versus 5 days of bands or 5 days of this or 5 days. No, it's going to be maybe a therapist on Monday, maybe a band on Tuesday, maybe a comedian on Wednesday, and then maybe a suicide survivor on Thursday. It's going to be more eclectic, but still the same old show. Just more eclectic guests. So those are the 4 big announcements I made yesterday on last night's show. That all starts Monday morning at 9 a.m. I haven't decided what I'm going to call the comedy news show yet, but it's going to be funny. Suck It News? No, that doesn't sound right. News of the day that doesn't suck?
No.
I don't know.
I'll come up with some stuff.
I'll figure something out. But either way, that starts Monday at 9 a.m. But we still have one more show tonight to do, and that is with the band 5 Iron Frenzy tonight at 8:30 because of their schedule conflict. So they're coming on at 8:30 tonight, not 8. So that one's going to be a little bit later than normal. But 8:30 East, 5:30 West, 5 Iron Frenzy live right here on Suck It Podcast. And then Monday starts a brand new week of insanity. You're going to see a different side of the show. The same side, they're going to see the same shit that's been going on. But now we're just going to add a different dimension. No changes are coming, just additions.
Okay.
So
all right.
We love
you all for joining us this week.
Exactly. We love you guys so very much. If you want to do more research on Scientology, click on the links in the bio in the description, and read this insanity for yourself. because it's just
Right.
absolutely nuts. Also, highly recommend going to Netflix and watching the Leah Remini show on the inner workings of it, which is just phenomenal as well. But
Right.
until tonight or Monday or next Friday, whatever you want to choose to tune in again, from myself and from this beautiful lady over here, Miss Kat Daniels, we love you. Stay happy, stay healthy, and as always, stay fucking heavy. We'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.